It's 7:31, so let's begin this meeting of the new Canaan Parking Commission. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully what we'll see is the agenda. Yes, and there it is.
No.
Hi, did someone else join us?
Jennifer
I-
joined us.
Oh,
I did.
Jennifer did.
Minutes.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, everybody.
Those are the minutes.
Yeah. Oh, these are, no, this is the agenda.
Well, it
Oh,
says minutes.
Sorry, I've got so many documents up on my screen. It is minutes. Should have been this one. Let's find out again. No, that's still not it. Interesting. All right, let me stop share. It says agenda. Okay, there it is. That has to be it. Good. All right.
That's
So
it.
here's our agenda. And you can see we have a number of parking violation appeals to deal with. I'm looking at my list on the side here, and I'm not seeing anyone in person who's appeared for an appeal. So I'm going to move ahead and we'll do the minutes, and we can circle back to the appeals in case someone comes in late. So we have two sets of meeting minutes to approve. First, we had our regular meeting way back on January the 7th. And then we had our special meeting on February the 22nd, which was solely about the use of the center lot for the library. Does anybody have any comments, changes, corrections for either of those minutes?
No.
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 Okay, hearing that, I move that we approve those minutes. All in favor? Do I have a second? Okay, good. And all in favor?
Hi.
Hand up. Okay, okay, great. Let me just make a note. All right. And then let's kind of go through these other matters, if you don't mind. We have these old matters, and much of this, Stacy, is on you. And
Yeah.
and if you don't have the information, well, then just tell us. So first, regarding the telephone lot.
As of now, there's no updated information. It's still being used. We're still allowed to use it as a permit lot. I asked upstairs Tucker and Kevin, and right now there's no further information on what's being done with it.
Okay. Makes sense. And then the status of installing pay by phone.
We should be up and ready to launch by the end of the month. I'm finishing up some paperwork. The signs are going to be made. I had a meeting with them yesterday, so we hopefully be, like I said, up and running by the end of the month in all the lots.
Right. In all the lots.
Yep.
Great.
That's great, Stacy. Do they have like, I'd love to get some graphics from them so we can help market it really well, so people know about it.
Absolutely. Actually, they're planning on, we're going to start doing a meeting probably every week. So when I get the next meeting date, you're more than welcome to join, but they're very good. They're going to make sure they
Good.
have stickers for machines. They're redoing all the signage, even in the train stations. They're going to try to do some marketing for us as well. So, but I'll
Great.
keep you posted.
Yeah, please. I'd be happy to attend any of those.
Perfect. I will let you know.
Great. And then let's move on to the next item, which again is Stacy, update on the effort to update the programming on the license plate readers.
So I put that through the budget as a capital project. So far, it has passed all approval with Chris Kaiser's help, actually with Chris Kaiser himself. We were able to reduce the price from $13,500 to $8,500. So that was a great savings for us. So as soon as we get into the next budget year, we're gonna move forward with the installations as long as it keeps passing.
Okay.
Stacy, how were we
Yes.
able to negotiate such a large price reduction?
So what originally happened is when I spoke to the company, they did not realize that I pay for a software contract every year. And I didn't, it was I didn't realize myself that I thought they were aware of it because I'm sending the company a payment every year. So I was just under the assumption that they were aware of it. The long and the short of it is when a question came up, when Chris was on the phone call with me, he goes, he asked him a question and I said, I have a software contract. And the gentleman that was working with me did not know. So he realized that the upgrades that they were charging me for was part of the software contract that I pay for. So that's what reduced the price greatly.
Okay.
Great.
And when will that happen?
I'm hoping to start at July. It's the next fiscal year budget, so I
Okay.
already have the quote, so once July 1st comes, I will put it through.
Okay.
Okay. Great. The big thing we have to discuss tonight is parking permit fees. But I'm just wondering if we want to talk a little bit before we get to that on the consequences of the Park Street lot availability of asking town hall employees to park in the locust lot. So how's that worked out?
So basically, of the two lots, Center and Locust is, their usage is about 85 to 95%. And that includes the town hall employees, with a peak time being between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Right now, we did have a number of offices that utilize the Locust lot renew at the no cost. However, they are not back in their office. So they are not utilizing that lot as of yet. So with the 85 to 90%, 5% usage and not everybody using it, it could get tight when people start coming back. Park Street is, and I'll say this is on the high side, about 50% utilized. And most of the people that are utilizing Park Street are the premium permit holders. We don't have many people paying for that lot.
What about daily parkers?
Not, other than the business permits, not many. There's not many people utilizing it, just paying.
Okay.
It is mostly permit holders.
Yeah, I park up there and, you know, I come in at 9, it's
Mhm.
4 cars and I typically
Yep.
leave between 2 and 3:30 and it's 50% at best.
Yep.
Now on a Saturday, I will say it's a little more crowded. But, you know,
Yeah. During the week, it has been, like I said, about 50%.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so let's circle back to our main issue, which has to do with what are we going to charge for permits? What are we going to do about permits? Oh, and I say I have a point here that I missed. Stacy, we're going to ask you to report on the success of the experimental free permit program, which I read in the Canaanite. Thank you, Michael. Had been deemed to be a big success by the Board of Selectmen. But how do you think of it?
I think it's a big success as well. People are signing up for it, new employees. When Lisa and Mike are out there, they are getting the message out as well to new employees. The only thing that's still, and it's always been a surprise, is Center School lot is still, even though we have 210 permits out. It is still running at about a 45 to 50% capacity, and 50% is on the higher side.
When you say 40 to
So
55% capacity, you mean 40 to 50%
Usage, I'm sorry,
usage?
usage, forgive me. And again, 50 is running on the higher side. So it still surprises me. I am not getting complaints from employees who used to say, well, I didn't get a chance to move my car, so I got a ticket. You know, I'm not hearing that anymore because we are offering this program. I think that has helped greatly. They have the option. So wherever they're parking, they know that they still have the option for free parking. So I don't think they're making that case anymore. That's the only thing that I see. I still think it's working very well, though.
Okay.
People who want it are using it.
And are you seeing more available parking on Main and Elm?
There are busy times, and busy times of the week, but I think it's running pretty consistent. Like I took a walk today and there were a lot of spaces on Main Street because I walked down Main. So I do think the availability is more out there than it has been before.
So why is Center School empty?
I can't explain that. I can't explain it.
I mean, if we had the same number of employees working in the restaurants and the stores, and they're not parking at Center,
Where are they parking? I
they
know.
gotta be parking on Main and Elm.
Or in the Morse Court lot. The only thing that I can think of is that it's what I call shift workers, that they're not all working at the same time. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, well, I suppose we'll learn over the long run.
Yep.
Okay, so let's now dive into the big issue about what are we going to charge for the parking permit fees? And so let's talk about the commuter parking lots, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in on this. Make it a little larger. Yeah. Hope you can see all that.
Much better.
Yeah.
Now we can read it.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so for the commuter parking lots, we talked about the earliest days for commencing renewals was extended at our recommendation from January 1st to April 1st. Well, here we are on March the 4th. I haven't heard anything about commencing renewals, so I'm kind of anticipating that we're not going to really do renewals until the normal next cycle. And at this point, that's what I would recommend. And does anyone want to talk about that? Okay, because I mean,
You're
least
talking about the
lots of-
commuter lots only?
yeah,
When's the next cycle? Sorry,
July 1st.
thanks.
yeah, and I
Well,
mean,
that kind of coincides with Biden's idea that everyone's going to be vaccinated by then. So maybe that is a good time to start.
yeah, I don't see right now, I mean, those lots are empty, you know.
I will tell you that I spoke with Darien, Greenwich, and Westport. Those are the three towns that I feel are pretty consistent with our town. Darien and Greenwich both work on a calendar year. Greenwich has renewed their commuter permits for this year. Darien is renewing it as of April 1st because they gave 3 months off. And Westport, who runs on a fiscal year like we do, is in the process of doing their renewals for their July 1st start, just to let you know.
Yeah, well, and I guess, you know, it seems to me the Board of Selectmen are pretty relaxed about starting this up again. And so, but, you know, I think we'll make it our recommendations that we don't commence renewals until the next cycle, January 1st.
You mean July 1st?
July
sorry,
1st.
July 1st.
Yep.
Right.
No, I agree
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
That
All right,
makes
so by
sense
the
to
way,
me.
why don't we make that a separate motion and then we can knock that out of the way? So
That's for the
I-
commuter lots.
just for the commuter, I move that the commuter lot permit cycle, or that we do not charge for commuter permit renewals until the beginning of the next normal cycle, which is July 1st, 2001. Do I have a second? Good. Thank you, Laura. And all in favor? I'm in
Aye.
favor. Okay. Okay. And so then, again, staying with the commuter lots, we need to talk about what we're going to charge. So let me pull up this famous chart, which was in our minutes anyhow, but it's maybe a little easier to see here. I'll see if I can blow this up too. Ooh,
So this time last year, we voted no rate increase, but we do have to fold the 6.35 in, right?
right. Yeah, so they got a pretty big, people got a pretty big increase, even though it wasn't anything we were doing.
So actually, just to, excuse me for interrupting. So the 6.35% sales tax was not reflected the last time we renewed permits, because we renewed prior to the 6.35 kicking in. And then this fiscal year, we never did the renewals.
Right.
So it never really was implemented as of yet.
Because the tax was supposed to go into effect at the beginning of 2021, is that correct?
2020, January 2020. So right before COVID hit, but we already did the majority of our permit renewals for July 1st of 2019.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry. For some reason, that chart didn't have what we wanted, which is this information. here.
yeah.
So I'm gonna see. And I guess, can you guys see that fairly clearly?
yep,
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously the lumberyard, Richmond Hill, the Talmadge Hill are really the commuter lots that we're talking about. And this is where we were. And of course, we haven't charged them last year. And the question is, do we want to, so this is, again, including the tax. Do we want to increase it like our customary 2 or 3%? Do we want to leave it alone in view of kind of the recovery from the COVID crisis? What do we want to do? So let me open the floor and for anyone to make a comment.
I would vote to leave it alone.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me too.
And I'm in complete accord. So Laura, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, so I make a motion that we hold the rates that we had previously established, which is the base fee plus the 6.35% added in.
Okay. I second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Great. Well, that's easy. So now we just have to do the one that's a little more difficult. So going back up here regarding the commercial lots. So we did start charging for those back on January the 1st. We charged them at the rates that had been approved for the prior fiscal year. We instituted our new experimental program of free downtown parking at the center locus lots, which we just discussed. And we resumed charging for the metered lots. And before getting to any proposals, Stacy, would you comment on how the permits have been going in the Park Street and Telephone and Morse Court lots?
Sure. So, Park Street, if you recall at one, I'm not sure if it was at the last meeting, which I do believe it was at the last meeting, we actually gave 20 more spaces for the Park Street lot. I exhausted that full wait list. So we are up to now in the Park Street lot, 45 permit holders. We do have room for 10 extra if we go with the exact number, the original 35, and then the 20 extra would give us 55. So we still have room for 10 more people.
That's in the Park.
I'm sorry.
That's in the Park
I'm
Street
sorry?
lot.
That's in the Park Street lot, correct. In the Morse Court lot, we actually lost 5 people. We only had 30 renewals. Actually, one person actually just switched from Center to Morse Court, so we only actually had 29 renewals. 2 people in Morse Court went to Center, and there were 3 people that did not renew. So we still have space for 5 more people from our original numbers for that.
Are you at
Telephone
29 or 39 in Morse, or 31 in Morse Court?
we have now 30, and we were allotted 35.
Okay.
And telephone is up to complement. It's 25. Everybody renewed there.
Is there something special about the folks at the telephone lot? Stacy,
Special. What do you mean by special?
are they all at one company? Are they all doing the same thing?
No, actually, the telephone lot, because that was like really the first, what we call premier lot, you were only allowed 3 people from the same company to get a permit in that lot. So
Okay.
there's different companies that have the allotted 3 people that make the 25.
And
So there are 6 or 8 different companies involved in it.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And Stacy, you said 25, not 35?
For telephone,
Yeah.
25.
25.
Yeah. Okay. Gotta correct my notes. Interesting. Well, so I guess you haven't seen that much resistance to the price that we've charged for
No,
those lots then,
no.
or at least, let me put it another way, price isn't really a deciding factor. The people that can get a free spot, obviously they're going to go, that it matters to them, they're going to go to the center lot or the locust lot.
Right.
Hi,
Yeah.
how are you?
Well, so then the question is, what do we do about these 3 lots, the Park Street lot, the Morse Court lot, and the telephone lot? Do we charge the same? Do we charge more? Again, let me open the floor.
Do you want to welcome Carolyn Murray?
Hello, Caroline Murray. Ms. Murray, are you here to appeal a ticket?
That's like,
Let me
a little rough
see.
coming back, but, not bad, like an hour.
Caroline Murray, are you
So that was good.
Why don't
Caroline
you just
Murray?
mute?
Yeah.
Why don't you just?
I'm gonna mute her. Okay. So I don't know there is a Murray who's up for appeal, but
Yeah.
that's Peyton Murray.
Yeah, I thought it was Peyton Murray.
Yeah,
The
Probably
name on
just the name on the Zoom account.
it
Yeah.
may be, but it sounded like a woman's voice, not a Peyton. But I guess Peyton could be
Girl.
non-gender. All right, well, let's just stay with this for a moment. What do we charge for these commercial lots? And the 3 we're talking about specifically, the Park Street, the Morse Court, and the telephone lot. Do we continue charging the $465 we have been? Or do we make any change?
I'd keep it the same again.
Okay, Laura, Peter?
I would go along with that. Keith, I do have a concern about the middle of the summer. Todd Lavieri, the head of the Finance Committee, said that he expected to have all the approvals for the library completed by the end of June.
Huh.
That includes planning and zoning and the selectmen, which suggests that the library will be starting their project in July. And that's going to significantly affect parking, I suspect.
Well, when we had those discussions, their plan is to use no more than the 76 spots that they say they're going to need long-term during the construction phase. And so to me, it will be a good test to find out, does doing, setting aside those 76 spots, does it create a problem? And if it does, then I'm certainly, and I'm sure we all feel the same, we're going to push back and say, then you need to add more parking to your plan, or else you need to pay to reconfigure the center lot to add more parking spots. And, on a separate matter, I want to get my oar in the water with P&Z about, I understand the predicament of the library that they, turned out they couldn't do underground parking, and then that was really part of their thinking all along. But but now that they can't do it, yes, there's enough parking in the center lot, I think, to accommodate their needs. So this is not exactly a parking commission comment, but just on a personal basis, wouldn't it behoove them to go back to their architects and say, well, let's at least revise our plans so we can have the handicap parking on this block where the library is? Shouldn't we revise our plans to have a place where parents can bring their kids and drop them off without having to cross the street? And shouldn't we have a place where you can drive in and return a book, have a book drop, And none of those things right now are on the proposed library construction, even though they have more land than they do today. And the library that they're contemplating is roughly the same size as the library today. So I don't want to make this about the library, but I do think separately that we may, want to get again, I think there'll be enough spots in to accommodate them in the center lot, but it's still, I find it a little upsetting that they haven't revised their plans in lieu of the fact they can't have underground parking, to at least have handicap parking on their lot, and at least have a drop off for parents, and at least have a drop off for for a book return.
I only wish you had made those comments a week ago.
Well, I had made them privately,
Oh, that helped.
and now I wanted to listen. These are more planning and zoning commission sort of comments, because I think there is going to be enough parking, Peter. That's where maybe I have a difference with you. I think there will be enough room in the center lot for them, but whether or not they shouldn't still be obliged to revise their plans once they learn there's no underground parking, where they thought they could be the child drop off, where they thought there could be handicap parking, where they thought they could have an underground book drop. Well, now that you can't have those things underground, it's one thing for the regular parking, but for those three things, I think they ought to have those above ground on their lot. So anyhow, I don't want to get that caught up in this question about what are we going to do about these commercial lots, Park Street, Morse Court, and Telephone. I've heard, I think, the consensus being that we wouldn't change the rate. Laura, do you want to make that a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we hold the rates that we have been charging for the first 6 months of 2021 into the next fiscal year.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
right. And I guess the one thing we also should talk about briefly is our
Excuse me?
experimental program. Go ahead, Stacy.
I'm sorry, holding the rates, that means $438 annually, right? Let me make, I
Right.
just want,
Yes.
okay.
Correct.
Forgive, just wanted to make it
No,
clear.
no.
Thank you.
Repeat, clarify. It's all part of communication. That's what I learned in school. And we should also just, in more of a point of clarification, we started our so-called experimental program to have free permits in the locus and center lot for downtown employees. As we discussed earlier, that seems to be successful. So I move that we extend that program at least through the next fiscal year.
I second that.
Okay?
How about 6 months instead?
Okay. Then, okay, I think that's fine. I'd be happy to revise it to be, so we're talking about now July 1 to December 31st.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's probably better.
So just those permits renew on a 6-month basis.
Right.
Right.
Everything else annually. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not paying for them, so we don't have to worry about dividing it in two. And that way
Okay.
it keeps our options open for the 2022, because who knows what will be around that year.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, I think that's a great, well, I'll take that as a motion from you, Peter, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Hi.
Okay. Okay. I think that was a really good ad. And you know what? I think we're back to appeals. Then if I haven't missed anything. So who is here? I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can look at my screen better. The only one I see besides us members is Caroline Murray. Caroline, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Are you there? Caroline Murray, are you there? Well, perhaps she'll come back. Or he'll come back.
You may be out getting a cup of coffee.
Yeah. It seems like many people who are on the appeals list were doing that or picking up as I read through those appeals. We have 15 appeals. If there's a number, I didn't find any that leaped out at me. I must say I glanced through them probably, I glanced through them.
Yeah.
Did you see any,
Stacy,
Peter,
I
that-
had a concern about the appeals.
Okay.
I looked twice at all the photographs, and I must say the photographs were less than completely helpful to me. They're just lousy photographs.
Uh-oh.
Well, they're taken by the handheld. I can try to, lousy as far as,
I
The
couldn't see
positioning-
lines on the ground. I didn't see a phone pole with a sign on it. It wasn't clear to me what the violation was in most of the instances. Now,
Well,
maybe I'm,
didn't send you pictures of any of the ones that said unpaid space because that was an unpaid space. But
just the photographs that I was looking at, they seemed, I wasn't quite sure why you were sending me photos.
okay.
Maybe I missed something.
I mean,
Obviously, I missed something.
I do, there were 2 photos that I would agree on that had to do with the loading zone, that you didn't see the signs where the person, where the person was parked. And I could understand that, but if you know where the loading zone is in front of by Greenology, the people actually passed that first sign.
Well, let's go through them because I think it's, so here's the first one.
Okay, it's a great example.
Yeah. You don't see the
What am I
sign?
sign.
supposed to
Loading
see
zone?
from this? There's
Okay,
no
so they're
line
in the
on the
loading-
street.
And
There's no sign on the
Because they're in the-
pole.
Because they passed the pole. There's the sign, they're actually in between the 2 signs.
But-
I will have them, okay, make sure that they
Are-
take
Yeah. We have
picture
to
of
see
the
the sign.
sign. Excuse me?
It would be helpful to see the sign, not just
Sign.
the pole, you know?
Okay. But the first sign, they drove past it. It's really behind them.
Okay.
That may well be, but the photograph doesn't tell me that.
Here's this one, same sort of thing.
Okay.
Stacy, is
And
their
the
goal to
sign is
get the license plate in the picture? Is that like
Well-
prior one?
Yes, part of it is to make sure that they're getting the correct vehicle. So somebody doesn't say, you know, that's not my car or something like that. We show the license plate as well. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get the whole thing. Normally, in the past, if you have seen the signs are there. This one,
Correct.
But here's one. What is this person ticketed for?
I believe that's a loading zone as well.
Even though there's a UPS right here?
But you have to understand again, and I'll make sure they take better pictures next time. And I agree with you on this one. The sign, they actually drove past the first
You're saying there's
sign
something
that
like
says
around
loading
here.
zone. Correct.
All right, let's look at this one.
That's the double parking.
Double parking, even though there's a barrier here? Yeah.
They're
Okay.
in the right lane.
Yep, yeah.
So
that's
they're
right.
really not supposed to be parked there at all.
And where is this one?
Which one is that? I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
That
looking.
looks like on Pine Street,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
front
yeah.
of
Oh, yeah,
Zumbach.
so you'll
Oh, yeah.
see, there's a no parking zone sign there by the
Oh,
no
here.
parking zone sign. It's
say
in front,
there?
yeah. Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
mean, we don't have cameras. It's really from the handheld to attach it to the ticket. That's the best we could.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
so
that's the
this one,
electric one.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you gave this guy a ticket. I must say, as an EV driver, it's so frustrating, you know, needing a charge, and there's someone like this sitting in their EV spot. I never feel
Hey.
bad if it's another electric vehicle who's gotten it, but when there's just someone like this, it's really obnoxious.
Stacy, if
Yes.
I tried to park in that spot and I went up and put space 10 in, do EVs have to pay when they're there?
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
I pay. This is the spot I use. I pay religiously, but I'm happy to pay. I'm not looking for a free spot, but I figure as long as I'm in town, I'll get a charge while I'm there.
Yep.
And, you know,
Now, Stacy, what about, go back to that the EV spot. The guy's also over the line.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I grant you, the white car on the left is close,
yeah.
but
Really close.
the Jeep has plenty of room. So
Yeah.
is he ticketed for parking or for being over the line?
He's ticketed for being in an electric spot with a non-electric vehicle.
Why not ticket him as well for being over the line? I mean,
Because
this is
he's,
a growing problem. And this guy is
By the
fairly
way-
flagrant.
Peter, it's a pretty big ticket. I think it's a $50 ticket he got.
My heart bleeds for him. I'm really sorry.
Well, anyhow, he didn't get the second ticket. So we can only adjudicate the one we have in front of us.
Stacy?
he was, it was the officer's discretion. He might have been right on the line, not far enough over it to give him
Yeah.
an obstructing.
Yeah. And as
If
you
the
say,
other car was in there and it didn't push him over the line, then they're going to be,
Yeah.
you know, they're getting a ticket for being a non-EV vehicle.
yeah, and this guy is pretty, you know, he's on the line, right?
I
So
can
he-
see that.
He did make it difficult
Right.
for the
We don't
wide
ticket-
vehicle like the
If
Jeep.
they're on the line, we don't ticket if they're
Yeah.
on the line. They
Right,
have to be over enough that they're obstructing the second spot.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it was the officer's discretion that they
Well,
weren't over enough to
This is
obstruct
one
the
of the
second
few
spot.
photographs that was actually very helpful.
yeah, let's look at the next.
Thank
Okay, I
you
will
very
make
much.
sure.
So what's this one?
Those are the pictures that the person who got the ticket took. She's showing the signs. I don't
Oh,
know
and they're
why
saying
it
it's
says EV.
confusing. And I
Yes,
don't
it
think it's
says EV.
confusing at all.
I don't either.
I took real
but-
issue with that. All right. Okay, and then there's this one.
Is
That's
that?
in a
Oh, it's
loading
not
zone.
really- That's a
So-
very
Nope,
helpful
that's the
one.
no parking zone.
That's
Yeah,
a no
clearly.
parking zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's clear.
And now what are we supposed to do with this?
Okay, so again, there is a handicap sign. You see the balloons? Now again, okay, you have to understand, I am taking a picture of the pictures that are given to me because I can't send them to you through the software program. And I
Okay.
apologize for that, but it just doesn't work.
Okay,
So if you see those balloons, there's
Yep.
a sign, there is a pole. You can't see the sign, but if you look at the other picture that's associated to this ticket, and what the officer did to show you how far into the
there it is.
handicap space that person is. So
There
you
we
see
go.
the sign? Okay,
Yeah,
so
now we
that's where
see
the
it.
sign is that says handicap. If you look at the other picture and you see where the balloon is, it's showing you that half the car is in the handicap spot.
Oh, yeah, no question.
Okay, because of the.
Well, this picture is helpful. This picture on a standalone
Yes.
basis is.
Is
doesn't-
not, and that's why they took the other one. They're trying as best they can to give you all of the, angles without taking
Yeah,
a lot of pictures.
all right, and then here are the, some of the write-ups. None of
Yep.
which I found. too-
sorry to give you a hard time, but
You're not giving me a hard time at all. I will pass that along.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's amazing how many people are saying they just parked for 2 minutes, Stacy. Your staff
Yeah.
is really on top of it.
Yeah, I guess.
I noticed that too.
Yeah. And
It's always
Doctor,
2
let's
minutes.
see.
I got 10, somebody complained, they were there for 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, 10
Yeah.
seconds.
10 seconds. Well, and Dr. Lutzy, her name comes up a lot,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you know what? The good news is the mobile app is going to help a lot of this, that
Yes.
we have that capability. So if someone is running
Yes.
over, they can add time.
Absolutely. And that's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that one. That's like longer than my SAT
yeah.
essay.
uh, I just wonder if someone's taking an English class at, one of the local colleges and thought they'd see if they could write an essay to fulfill their class requirement while they were
Right.
doing this. But anyhow, I personally found none of those to be convincing. And I don't know if anyone else did. Anyone want to talk about that?
I did not find them convincing, Keith.
All right, then using our usual approach. And I see that, even Ms. Murray has dropped off now. I would move that we uphold all of these tickets, numbers 1 through 15, which includes even a 16th one. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Okay. Excellent. So now let's go back through our minutes and see what, if anything, we've missed. I think we've done pretty well, pretty fast. Oh, the status of the possibility of doing all permit renewals online.
Very good possibility. Was speaking with the IT department. It looks like they will be able to send out an email blast with all the account holder information on it. With a link that if they want to do it online, they're more than welcome to, but they will absorb that 3.5% convenience fee. If they do not want to do it online, then they can print out the form and the information and mail in a check like they did the old-fashioned way. The only thing that it does not look like we will be able to do is if anyone needed to make a change, they would be able to attach like a new registration to the original email sent. So it would have to be sent separately to me, which is just fine. I can make the changes that way. So it looks like We can be doing it online.
Okay, so when we say we can do it, does that mean it's mandatory or are we going to accommodate both ways?
Well, what my understanding is that they want to try to, if they have an email address for somebody, that person is going to get an email with, a permit renewal letter with all their account information and telling them what they need to do. If we don't have an email address, then I'm going to have applications printed and mailed and then mail them out until I get an email address.
Okay, so I'm trying to see how that answered my question.
Okay.
So I guess you're saying it will be electronic unless you have reason to think it can't be electronic.
Right. So basically, I sent to IT an Excel spreadsheet with all the permit holders' information, their accounts, their permits, permit numbers, everything that's needed, their plate numbers. They are going to get an email notification that their permit is up for renewal. If there's no changes, something to this wording, if there's no changes, you have the option to do it online. If you want to do it online, go to Buy My Permit and it will walk you through how to do it online. If you do not want to pay that convenience fee, then you can mail in a check. If there are any changes that needs to be made or any new registrations or plate numbers, they will be given information on how to, excuse me, I'm sorry, on how to send me an email to make the changes.
Okay.
Stacy, that makes me nervous.
Makes me
Sorry.
a little nervous too. I'm still a little old fashioned. I like physical things going out, but that's just me.
I mean, I'm concerned about, my grandmother who has a railroad station parking permit, but grandma doesn't really use email very much. And she
Right.
just hits the delete button all the time.
Yep, yep.
So while grandma may have an email address, but she's very comfortable with that delete button. And as such, grandma stands a pretty good chance of missing this renewal notice. And that makes me very nervous.
Well, does she park in the, what lot does she park in? Or is
She
there,
parks in the best lot available.
or is this a hypothetical, Granny?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but this is just one manifestation of that syndrome where there's a lot of things you got to do with an app or you got to do online or else it doesn't happen. I tried to call the IRS today and I'm like, God, it was a nightmare. You just can't get through. So, Robert, you have a comment?
Bob has had some great experience with the dump passes, which is sort of in the same system, right?
Oh, right.
This is New Canaan. We don't have a dump. We have a transfer station.
Oh, sorry.
Right, Bob would be the best one to ask.
Yeah, similar situation. It's gone well. We've had a few people who couldn't maneuver the technology. We've helped them out. We've had people come in. It's all worked out. We've walked people through the process on the phone. That part of it, I'm pretty pleased the way it worked out this year.
Well, that's great.
So Stacy, when would the emails go out and when are they due back?
So normal permit renewals would start going out in the second week in May, and they should be back by June 30th. So we can have everybody renewed for July 1st start.
So you've
That's
got
how
a
it-
6-week window.
Yes.
And
Which,
do we send out a
according to
reminder
IT,
after
must be
3
done.
weeks or something?
I will this time. Again, I will try, I will keep on top of it since this is the first go around
Yeah, I'm
with,
just wondering
with
if you're
this
gonna
type
do it
of way
electronically,
of doing it.
maybe we can go out a little earlier. But go ahead, Robert.
Just as a point of information, we used the rec track system, which was a little more clunky than what we would like to have used. And we're actually working toward trying to use the system that Stacy is going to use for the renewal, because it's more efficient than the process that we were having this year. And what we're going to try to do, Stacy's going to help us with seeing about getting a license plate reader installed there to read the plates, so we could eliminate the physical permit that goes on your rear view mirror. So we're looking forward to working with Stacy and with a little bit more efficient system.
Okay. That sounds great. Any other comments on that? All right. That was really the last thing on our agenda other than input from the parking department. And again, that's you, Stacy.
I did have one question for all of you. So the wait list letters went out to remain on the wait list, went out in November with the return date of January 31st. I got 376 letters went out, and I did not get returns for 74 people. So my question to you is, I have to update the wait list. Should I remove them? They did get a reminder in January through an email to send in their letters. I did get a few that came in after that, but 74 did not return. So I have to update it, and I'm just asking if I should remove them.
Yes.
Yeah, because we extended a number of them, right, until now.
Yeah, we gave a little extra time. There was some weather issues and everything like that. And again, with the reminder of the email, some people got it in a little late, so we accepted them, but 74 didn't.
Well, maybe 74 people who've stopped working in the city, stopped working, decided they like working from home and don't want to get a
Yep.
permit. They're going to
Okay.
switch to parking in St. Aloysius. There's a lot of good reasons these days to make that
Yep.
decision.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is there a no option? Like if you gave somebody the opportunity to renew, was there a box that they could check out,
Yeah.
no, thank you, and send it back?
Yes, yes, we asked them to do that. Yes.
So if you're not getting no's and you're getting no responses, then does it make any sense not to let those people go, to me?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents.
I don't think we need a motion for that, because it's kind of, in theory, what we should be doing, right? We're just testing to see if we were going to grant extraordinary mercy.
Yep.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
So
I
how
will-
many people
list.
does that leave? So is this on any wait list, Talmadge, Richmond, or Lumberyard? Or is this just Lumberyard wait list?
Richmond and Lumberyard, because we don't have a wait list for Talmadge anymore.
Okay.
We're still giving. So
So how
We
many
had
people does that
370
leave on the wait list?
302.
Wow.
Mhm. Mostly for the Lumberyard, but there are people who haven't gotten their Richmond Hill ones yet either. So,
Right.
but so a total 302.
All right.
Stacy, could you give us an update on Boxcar?
And
Sure,
if not, we can do it the next meeting.
Yeah. What kind of update as far as usage or?
Well, is anybody using Boxcar at all?
There are, Insane A's There are a few people that are associated, I believe it's with Merrill Lynch, that have bought like a monthly, I'm not sure how Boxcar is working it, if they bought a monthly or if they bought yearly parking through Boxcar at St. A's, but right now they are the only ones that are using it.
So what is the risk that Boxcar closes down?
They haven't said anything to me. I haven't gotten any updates. They haven't reached out to me to say they're no longer in business or no longer doing it. So,
Yeah, I mean, their
'Cause
costs.
they're
are
in multiple cities. in
yeah.
multiple Towns.
I think they're hoping that
I
things will
suspect multiple
start coming
cities have a
back.
similar situation.
Yeah, but their costs are pretty low, right? Once
Yep.
they've written their software.
That becomes the question, Keith,
Fair
as to
enough.
what their
Well,
fixed costs are.
we may, we can ask Kevin about, I didn't think to ask Kevin that question. We can ask him and maybe he'll come to the next meeting anyhow.
Robert, do you know the answer to that?
I do not know. But as Keith indicated, their fixed costs are probably the development of their software, which is probably being written off over a number of years. They're probably taking advantage of the government money that was available and probably some SBA help, probably.
So they have not made a commitment to St. Aloysius?
Oh, no, St. Aloysius just gets a piece of the action.
Yeah,
It's action.
but I'm in that parking lot a little bit every day, and I find it interesting that there are some people pulling into those spaces and heading to the train.
I had heard that.
The app is still up, so.
Yeah, but I had heard that several months ago that there were still people that were using that app to park in St. Aloysius
Yeah.
because they found it so easy to use and so favorable,
Mhm.
that they just stayed with it.
Well, there's no one using it at Talmadge Hill.
No.
No.
None whatsoever.
Occasionally, believe it or not, occasionally, very occasionally, I will see one or two people
Oh, really?
in a report, yes, but very infrequently,
Okay.
at Talmadge.
Okay.
So,
Okay, anything else? All right, then I move that we adjourn. Do I have a second? Okay, Jennifer was the first with her hand up.
I'm going to Florida tomorrow. I gotta pack.
Okay, you have a second, all in favor?
Next time.
All in
Thank you.
favor? Okay, it's 8:29. All right,
Woohoo.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice trip, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Take
All
care.
right.
sunshine. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.